Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. I'm Wes Decker. Great to have you along this week. And I start the show presenting to you a couple of acts from athletes probably better learned from than emulated. First, Philadelphia 76ers guard Evan Turner's texting. Following the Sixers win last Saturday over Chicago, Turner was apparently feeling a bit cocky over his team's 3-0 start to the season. As a result, he sent a text to former Sixers star Andre Iguodala, whose current team, the Golden State Warriors, would be visiting Turner and Philly on Monday. The text simply read, "You're next." Turner turned out to be less of a prophet and more of a motivator. Iguodala made a career-high 7 3-pointers and lit up the Sixers for a game-high 32 points, 6 more than he had scored in his first 3 games combined. Iguodala's Warriors led by 33 points after 3 quarters and went on to win by 20, 110-90, handing Turner's Sixers their first loss of the season and snapping a 5-game Golden State losing skid in Philly. No word on any Turner texts since. Now, second, from the city of brotherly love to the gluttonous brotherly love of McNuggets in Beijing. A bizarre revelation Olympic gold medalist Usain Bolt makes in his new memoir, Faster Than Lightning. The Jamaican sprinter admits to fueling himself with as many as 100 McNuggets a day on his way to 3 gold medals at the 2008 Summer Games in China. Bolt claims to have even grabbed some fries and an apple pie to go with his McNuggets, saying, "I should have gotten a gold medal for all that chowing down." In his book, he says he chose McDonald's over the native cuisine because he considered Chinese food odd. And ingesting nearly 48,000 calories and more than 3,000 grams of fat per day isn't. Now that we all feel bloated, on with a show chock full of all things fall sports and most postseason related. I'll get to golf, cross country, volleyball, and soccer before we're through, but it's a 3-course installment of football first, starting with our featured game right after this.
Behind every great child, there is a great foundation. Premier Martial Arts will empower your child and give them a premier foundation to success. Our instructors have the passion to teach classes designed to build premier skills. Your child will develop greater self-control, confidence, and concentration. Premier Martial Arts will take your child up the path of greatness. Call Premier Martial Arts today.
Antietam Cable is pleased to announce another exciting innovation, Antietam To Go. Antietam To Go lets you watch TV shows on your computer or portable device, laptop, tablet, smartphone. Watch what you want, when you want, where you want from the most popular networks on television. Power Antietam To Go with Antietam high-speed internet for the perfect entertainment combo. Just visit myactv.net/Antietam To Go to get started. It's TV your way with Antietam To Go, free with your TV subscription. Thank you for being an Antietam Cable customer.
Honey, I just got the mail. We got 6 new bills today.
We don't have enough money.
Mommy, will we still get to live in our house?
It may be time to consider bankruptcy. Call Bodie Law. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family.
Injured on the job? Been denied compensation? Need money for medical bills and lost wages? Know your rights. Insurance companies have lawyers, and so should you. Protect yourself. Call Bodie Law, your Hagerstown legal team, for help at 888-823-1255. It's what we do for you that counts.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. Our featured game was the 42nd all-time get-together between the Williamsport Wildcats and the South Hagerstown Rebels. The Rebels entered Friday night with an 11-game edge in the series and would be going after their 4th win in a row over the Wildcats, whose county-worst defense would have to find a way to contain the county's best offense. It was senior night at South Hagerstown as the Rebels' 21 12th graders and their respective family members received their moment in the spotlight prior to South's meeting with junior-laden Williamsport. One 11th grade Wildcat who would not join his team for Friday night's game, though, was starting quarterback Savon Brown, who was out with a right MCL strain. So just how many lives could the Cats expect to call on without their leader in the Maryland National Guard tribute matchup against a Rebel team on a roll toward the playoffs? A point to ponder, given that the first time Williamsport donned these special uniforms was with Brown against North Hagerstown 4 weeks earlier. The result, a 63-18 defeat. On Friday, the Wildcats came out like they had a short memory, with Jack Kelly returning the opening kickoff to the south side of the 50. Tack on a Rebel face mask infraction, and Williamsport had a 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. Tremendous field position for replacement starting QB Manny Morris, who promptly hit Colby Byers with his first varsity pass attempt for a short gain. 4 plays later, Jordan Stonebreaker carried Rebel defenders and Williamsport to its second first down on the drive, determinedly working the Wildcats closer to the goal line. On the 3rd play after, Morris gets into the end zone according to the video, but not according to the official. Then on 4th and goal, Stonebreaker is clearly denied by Ramal Martinez and company, so South gets the fortuitous stop and the ball at its own 1-yard line. Backed up in poor field position? Nah, it took the Rebels just 4 plays and 1 minute and 20 seconds to navigate it all, with Isaiah Smith covering the final 59 yards to give his team a 7-0 lead. Then on the very first play of the ensuing Williamsport possession, Morris's pass is intercepted by Tyrone Hill at the South Hagerstown 41. 6 plays later, Smith finished off the drive from 15 yards out to extend the Rebel lead to 13 with 4:15 left in the first quarter. After each team's defense recorded a 4th down stop, South's punt return team came up big early in the second quarter, with Josiah Johnson setting the offense up inside the Wildcat 10-yard line. And 2 plays later, Smith punched it in to up the Rebel advantage to 20-0. Just over a minute after that, facing another punting situation, Stonebreaker tried to run for the first down out of punt formation, but came up well short at the Williamsport 27. South took all of 25 seconds to capitalize, with Smith carrying 14 yards for his and the Rebels' second touchdown in the last 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Ahead 27-0 now, South maintained its intensity, evidenced by Johnson's hit on Kelly on the ensuing kickoff. Following a Wildcat punt, the Rebels made their only mistake of the night when Marcel Jones was stripped by Jeremiah Yonker and Casey Shank recovered at the Williamsport 3. But the Wildcats' good fortune turned bad on the next play when Morris mishandled the snap and was ruled down in the end zone for a safety. South Hagerstown proceeded to take the free kick and drive 41 yards in 9 plays for a touchdown reception? Credited to Chance Hendershot anyway, with 33 seconds till halftime. Seemingly, the Cats had used up all of their lives. With the Rebels leading 36-0 on the first play of the second half, Smith broke off a 42-yard scamper on which his right foot slid out from under him awkwardly at the end. He and his 280 yards would watch from the bench the rest of the night as South beat the running clock for 3 more scores. A 52-yard bolt by Brandon Jackson in the 3rd quarter, a 6-yard run by Martinez 3.5 minutes into the 4th, and a 31-yard burst by DeMaurier James with 2.5 minutes left to polish off a 57-0 walloping of Williamsport. It's the Rebels' 7th straight W. And while the offense has been outstanding all year, the defense is really starting to flourish. Friday marked the 2nd consecutive shutout South has pitched, its first pair in succession since weeks 1 and 2 of last season, for a team now plus 10 in turnover margin. And I'll sneak in one offensive highlight here too. On this run, late in the first quarter, Isaiah Smith surpassed 5,000 yards for his career. After his big night on Friday, he's now 319 away from the state record of 2,698 in a single season, held by current Houston Texans running back Ben Tate. More on Smith and the Rebels later in the show. As for Williamsport, the Wildcats didn't exactly get the calls against South, but they really missed Savon Brown at quarterback. His status is undetermined for the 2-7 Wildcats season finale this Friday night against Clear Spring. Well, we're always minute to minute here, and barring anything unforeseen, I'll present the bulk of Week 9's football following this timeout. At Murray's Tire and Auto, we were here for you then, and we're here for you now. While the way we look might have changed over the years, the quality of the work you've come to count on remains the same. From preventive maintenance services to emissions repairs to major and minor mechanical work. Plus, Murray's carries Cooper and other major brands of tires and uses state-of-the-art equipment to accommodate all rim and tire sizes. And now shopping for tires has never been easier. At Murray's, your family's safety behind the wheel is important to us as our own. Enjoy old-fashioned service with all the modern conveniences at Murray's Tire and Auto. Still here for you in Williamsport. Antietam Cable is pleased to announce another exciting innovation, Antietam To Go. Antietam To Go lets you watch TV shows on your computer or portable device, laptop, tablet, smartphone. Watch what you want, when you want, where you want from the most popular networks on television. Power Antietam To Go with Antietam high-speed internet for the perfect entertainment combo. Just visit myactv.net/Antietam To Go to get started. It's TV your way with Antietam To Go, free with your TV subscription. Thank you for being an Antietam Cable customer. Welcome back to the show and the rest of Week 9's football now. We begin with the Hancock Panthers, who continued their winning ways on Friday with a convincing 51-15 pasting of Nativity BVM. Hancock struck for 2 touchdowns in the game's opening minute and 53 seconds, 1 offensive and 1 defensive, en route to a 25-0 lead at the end of the first quarter, and spearheaded by 4 long Jesse Wolford scoring runs, what proved to be an insurmountable 38-8 halftime bulge. Entering the final week of the regular season, Hancock owns an 8-1 record and the number 3 spot in the 1A West playoff standings. Riding the momentum of a 7-game winning streak during which they've outscored their opposition by an average of 42-10, the Panthers, who have won 5 straight on the road, travel to play at 1-8 Berkeley Springs on Friday. Now, last Friday, in a seesaw affair that featured 7 lead changes and 3 ties, fittingly, it was a Boonesboro touchdown in the game's final 2 minutes that pushed the Warriors past Poolesville by a single point, 35-34. Boonesboro's 5 TDs came courtesy of 5 different players, the most crucial of which was Tyler Hollis's 1-yard run that knotted the contest at 34 before Caleb Urish's extra point put the Warriors on top with 1:59 remaining. Seemingly plenty of time for Poolesville in this offensive shootout until Owen Glass made a well-timed defensive play to effectively secure a hard-fought Boonesboro win, its first in its last 4 outings. Despite the victory, it appears the Warriors will end up outside the playoff window, looking in for the first time in 3 seasons. Boonesboro hosts Smithsburg in their traditional regular season rivalry finale on Friday. The Warriors have won the last 2 and 7 of the last 9 in that series. Speaking of the Leopards, they tried but ultimately couldn't help Boonesboro's postseason cause versus the team that started the week with a hold on the 4th and final playoff spot in the 2A West playoffs. They did score first last Friday against Catoctin to take a 6-0 lead into the second quarter, but by the time Smithsburg scored again, it was staring at a 20-point third quarter deficit. Undeterred, the Leopards proceeded to pull within 26-21 in the 4th on Dylan Curtis's second touchdown pass of the game to Ben Bush, but Catoctin would answer to hold off Smithsburg and hand the Leopards their 8th loss of the season, 34-21. Clear Springs suffered its 7th defeat of the year despite a couple notable highlights. On senior night, senior quarterback Jake Brandt authored a prolific passing performance, throwing for 395 yards and 3 TDs, and Spencer Schultz became the first kicker in the 10-year history of the Blazer football program to make a field goal. But it wasn't nearly enough to combat 534 yards of total offense by East Hardy in the 52-24 setback. Clear Spring finishes the season Friday at Williamsport. St. James closed its Saturday with a 36-20 triumph at Murray. Sherman Harris ran for 74 yards and a pair of TDs, and the receiver turned quarterback threw for another. The Saints also got 179 yards from scrimmage and a score from Justin Pank to snap a 4-game losing streak to end the year at 3-5. Also on Saturday, jump-started by Isaiah Key's state record 5th pick 6 of the season, North Hagerstown raced out to a 28-0 halftime lead at Brunswick. The Hubs saw their advantage sliced in half after 3 quarters before exploding for 27 fourth-period points, 6 coming on Preston Carey's 97-yard jaunt, the longest run from scrimmage in North Hagerstown football history. It was one of 4 trips Carey made to the house, half the touchdowns the Hubs scored on a day on which they piled up 506 total yards. They seem all geared up for their showdown with South Hagerstown this Friday night. And to get you ready, my Antietam Cable broadcast partner, Coach Greg Kellick, joins me to talk North-South Part 57 when you come back. Boxes are good for a number of things, but not as your flooring store.
Excuse me, where can I find your ceramic tile expert?
Ceramic tile expert? You're looking at him.
But aren't you the...
Ceramic tile expert.
At Carpet Gallery, flooring isn't just one of the things we do, it's the only thing we do. And when they say free, we say, really? Here, you'll meet with flooring and ceramic tile experts with over 70 years of experience, and that's for real, and that's real value. Trust Carpet Gallery for all your flooring needs and think outside the box. September is the biggest, most exciting month ever for Antietam Cable customers. Watch TV shows from the most popular networks on your computer or portable device with the launch of Antietam To Go, available free to television subscribers. Antietam high-speed internet now has faster internet speeds and more speed choices with new speeds up to 50 megs for home and 100 megs for business. Plus, we added 8 more HD networks, now totaling over 100 in stunning high definition for your viewing pleasure. Antietam Cable, we bring the world to your home. Welcome back to Inside Sports and more football now. Well, we've talked about what has transpired in week number 9, and now I'll look ahead to week number 10. And joining me is former South Hagerstown head coach Greg Kellick. And Coach, we want to talk about this North-South game that we'll be handling on Antietam Cable this Friday night. And the thing about this game is, for 22 years, you were a head coach for South Hagerstown. You certainly know the fabric of this game. But this year, much like last year, there is a lot on the line coming into this game, and I have a lot of trouble separating these two teams. Yes, South is 8-1, North is 6-3. South have evidently ticketed for the playoffs for only the second time in school history, but this promises to be one heck of a football game on Friday night.
Yeah, it does, and the thing about this game is, from a coaching standpoint, you really don't have to get them motivated. You know, the kids are coming in. I always said it's one of the easiest weeks to coach because they're there, they're on time for practice, they're ready to go, and there is a whole bunch at stake. You know, both teams, as far as the pride factor goes, you can throw out the playoffs. I mean, they're not thinking that. They are just thinking about, we got to beat the team across town.
And you've got the Antietam Conference Championship, or at least a piece of it, on the line. You've got the Gridiron Championship trophy that goes along with this game, and this will be the 57th all-time meeting between the two schools. North has won 30 of those games and 9 of the last 10, but it was 2 years ago that a guy by the name of Isaiah Smith really got his start in that final game of the season, ran for over 240 yards against North in that game. Now, last year he was injured, was not a factor in that game when South was trying to make the playoffs and possibly knock North out. North gets into the playoffs with a win in that game. This year, Isaiah Smith comes into this game, and it's a matchup. You know, you don't want to say it's one player versus another, but you've got Isaiah Smith on one side for South Hagerstown, Isaiah Keys, certainly the figure you look at on the other side for North Hagerstown.
Yeah, and Isaiah Smith has done just about anything that you could ask a player to do as far as a coach and what he's done in his career. You know, it's something that North has to contend with. And you can, you know, you hear the old saying, you can practice against this, you can practice against that, but until you see the real thing, then it's something different. And I think Isaiah is the real deal. He runs very, very hard inside. You've got to get him stopped early, otherwise you're not going to get him. He gets to that second, third level. He knows, you know, he has the speed that he can break something. He can go the entire distance. So that's going to be a real challenge for North.
Yeah, the all-time county rushing leader, over 5,000 yards now coming into this game. Has a chance to become the all-time single-season leader in the state of Maryland. Needs 319 yards to get there, and you figure playing this week and then the week after, potentially, certainly could do that. And Isaiah Keys on the other side for North Hagerstown has had a remarkable season, and I think he's flown under that Isaiah Smith radar a little bit, but here's a guy who does it on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and that's the big thing for him, is that he can do it on both sides of the ball. And I think, you know, defensively he has so many interceptions and so many touchdowns off the interceptions. One thing to get it in the secondary, to get that interception, but then to break the thing and run it back, what you've got to have is a team working together, and obviously they're downfield blocking once he catches the ball, and he obviously has the speed that he can go. So, you know, like you say, offense and defense, and he should be ready to go on Friday.
And you try to figure out what separates these two teams, and there isn't a whole lot when you break it down. And perhaps one of the elements or facets of this game could be the passing game. And Isaiah Keys, much more adept at being part of a passing game for North Hagerstown, as he's taken the ball to the end zone several times this year on pass receptions. But when you look at those two teams, 80% of the time, South runs the ball. And the North play selection indicates they run the ball 85% of the time. So when you look at that from a coach's standpoint and sort of an analyst standpoint, what's going to make the difference in this game when you look at the way these two teams approach it offensively?
Well, it's interesting because as you say that, you're thinking as a coach, if you're sitting at the south end, you're thinking, okay, that North can throw the ball. They've shown that they can throw that. So this week we have to practice against the pass as well as the run. On the other end of the spectrum, you're saying that, we've got to stop Isaiah Keys, period, or Isaiah Smith, period. We got to make that stop before anything. So do you concentrate on the run and you lack a little bit defensively in practice against the pass? And if that's the case, then does South come up with something pass-wise that is going to shock North? And so it's the old, back and forth chess match type thing and brain tickler as you go.
And you look at the supporting cast for Coach Pierre's team, Coach Cunningham's team. Certainly for Coach Pierre, I think Brandon Jackson is a key figure for South Hagerstown in this game. And over on the North Hagerstown side, I don't know that Coach Cunningham's really settled on a quarterback all season long. He pretty much went all game last week with Nick Carlin at quarterback, but Bobby Brennan's factored in there. Preston Carey, I think, sort of is the wild card for North Hagerstown because he's a guy who can break something at any time out of the backfield, catching a pass, and much like Isaiah Keys, he can make an impact defensively too.
Yeah. And, you start talking about different things that you can do offensively. Sometimes you have to worry that you're putting in too much or you're concentrating on too many different things. So I'm sure that Coach Cunningham has already, come up with his game plan as what he's going to do and taken that playbook and condensed it and said this is the certain set of plays that we're going to run and this is what we're going to concentrate on. On the other hand, Coach Pierre has to sit back and say which one of these things is he going to do and who am I going to have to contend with.
And you look at the kicking game. Both kickers have had tremendous seasons. Braden Tyner for South Hagerstown, Mark Grunberg for North Hagerstown. You look at defensive players who are difference makers. Ramal Martinez for South Hagerstown certainly is a guy who is a spark plug. He's made a lot of big hits this year. Over on the North Hagerstown side, Jeremy Lum, Aaron Dobson, Matt Ritter. I mean, you can name almost everybody on this roster. And there may be somebody that we wouldn't even talk about who could be the one who's going to turn the tide in this football game.
Yeah, I think many, many years ago when I first started coaching, that was the big thing. We always thought that there would be somebody who literally was under the radar that you didn't know about, maybe some JV that you brought up who would come up and have a big game because the opposing team really wasn't thinking about them. All of a sudden, they're the ones that have the big game. So, yeah, that's very possible.
And South, a team that starts very well. They've scored 126 points in the first quarter so far this season. They're a good start. So is North. North scored 87 in the first quarter this year. And you look at strength of schedule this season, it favors North Hagerstown, and that's part of the reason they're 6-3. They played the number 5 team in the state, the number 6 team in the state, lost to both of them. As we said, man, there is a ton on the line on Friday night from Pride on down. So these guys are going to be ready for the football game. I know we'll be ready. Right. It's going to be a good time Friday night at Mike Callis Stadium. Look forward to seeing you then, Coach.
It should be a great time. It'll be a great game.
I'll be back right after this as I wrap up this week's show with soccer, cross country, golf, and volleyball right after this. What's bigger than a baker's dozen and a lot more exciting? Antietam Cable Sports Plus, 18 extra sports channels, MLB Network, Golf Channel, ESPNU, ESPN News, Big Ten Network, Outdoor Channel, World Fishing Network, Horse Racing TV, Fox College Sports, NFL Network, NFL Red Zone, every touchdown from every game every Sunday during the regular season and more. Antietam Cable Sports Plus, just $7.99 per month. If you already have a digital box, you can get Sports Plus activated instantly. Call now, 301-797-5000. Antietam Cable is pleased to announce another exciting innovation, Antietam To Go. Antietam To Go lets you watch TV shows on your computer or portable device, laptop, tablet, smartphone. Watch what you want, when you want, where you want from the most popular networks on television. Power Antietam To Go with Antietam high-speed internet for the perfect entertainment combo. Just visit myactv.net/Antietam To Go to get started. It's TV your way with Antietam To Go, free with your TV subscription. Thank you for being an Antietam Cable customer. Welcome back to the show. At the state golf championships last week at College Park, North Hagerstown's Drew Miguel emerged as the county player who carded the lowest two-day total for the second consecutive year. The senior followed up an opening round 82 with the county's lowest 18-hole total, a 77 on Wednesday, tying him for the 13th best score among the boys. Miguel finished his high school career with a 17 over 159 total, 5 strokes better than South Hagerstown junior Dylan Bickford, whose best round was an 81 on Monday. It was state qualifying time at the Region Cross Country Championships last Thursday. Smithsburg used its home course as the stepping stone to the big stage. Led by freshman Quinn Wadolowski in fourth, the Leopard girls cruised to a 48-point margin of victory by placing 5 runners in the top 13. As for the Smithsburg boys, they finished fourth, a distant 57 points behind first place Southern Garrett, but good enough to get them to Westminster this Saturday. At the 2A West region meets at Liberty High School, the Boonesboro girls left Eldersburg somewhat ambivalent, happy with qualifying for states, but disappointed by their placing. Racing without an ill Anna Solberg, their normal number 5 runner, the Warriors finished 5th, 54 points behind the winning team from Poolesville. The winning individual, Megan Grams, had to be ecstatic with the way she bounced back from her early withdrawal from the race for the county title 1 week earlier. The junior looked like the Grams we've known all season, outdistancing runner-up Sarah Reinhardt of Liberty by 15.6 seconds. 19.9 seconds, the time that Williamsport's Clay Smith put between himself and Boonesboro's Sean Snyder to claim the best finish by a county boy. Smith placed 13th overall, 8 spots ahead of Snyder, who had held him off for the county championship 7 days earlier. Smith is on his own this Saturday, though, while Snyder will be joined by his Boonesboro teammates after a 6th place finish. A 6th place finish at the 3A West region meets propelled the North Hagerstown girls to states, too. Emily Ward slipped and fell on the Watkins Mill course, compromising her chance to win last Thursday, but she still got to the wire 3rd to help her team advance. By placing 15th, South Hagerstown sophomore Darren Harmon was the only county boy to qualify. County runners in Class 3A are up first on the McDaniel College course Saturday, with the girls' race slated to start at 10:30 and the boys' race at 11:30. In volleyball, through Tuesday, things had played out as expected in 1A West, where top-seeded Smithsburg had moved on to the Section 2 final to host second-seeded Clear Spring. To the victor goes the winner of Fort Hill Southern Garrett for the region championship. No surprises in 3A West either, where number 1 North Hagerstown advanced to the Section 1 final there versus the 2nd seed Tuscarora. The Hubs swept the Titans in the regular season a month ago. The winner plays the winner of Damascus Seneca Valley for the region title. In 2A West, the county has no representative left. Section 1's 2 seed Williamsport couldn't hold a 2-1 lead last Thursday against 7th-seeded Oakdale and bowed out in the quarters 3-2. The Wildcats' lack of height finally caught up with them as the Bears avenged last year's playoff loss to the defending champs in Williamsport's home gym. Oakdale then proceeded to rally from an 0-2 deficit to knock out 3rd-seeded Boonesboro in a section semi on Monday. In soccer, high hopes have turned to wait till next year for every team but one through Monday. Smithsburg's girls are the 1. In 1A West, in the Section 2 semis, the top-seeded Leopards rolled past Hancock 9-0, while second-seeded Clear Spring bested Brunswick 1-0. Smithsburg then moved on to the region final Tuesday night at Section 1's top seed Northern Garrett with a 2-0 victory over Clear Spring. In 2A West, the 3rd-seeded Williamsport girls were eliminated in their Section 1 semifinal match by 7th-seeded Oakdale 1-0. The Wildcats end the year 11-5-1. In the boys' 1A West draw, 3rd-seeded Clear Spring was ousted in a Section 2 semifinal by 2nd-seeded North Carroll 5-0. In 2A West, 2nd-seeded Oakdale ended 3rd-seeded Williamsport season by that same 5-0 score. There is an opportunity for the county's senior soccer players to don their high school uniforms one more time. That's this coming Monday evening at Clear Spring, the 4th annual Kickin' It for a Cause benefit soccer games, with the girls playing at 6 and the boys following at approximately 7:30. The event is sponsored by the Clear Spring Athletic Boosters and Antietam Cable, with proceeds donated to charities whose missions are to help local children who have been diagnosed with cancer and their families. So please come out to Clear Spring on Monday to see our county's senior high school soccer players take to the field one final time and to support a wonderful cause in the process, kicking it for a cause. As the song says, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery. And I'm both your historian and sleuth. Next week on the show, results from postseason cross country, volleyball, and soccer, plus Week 10's football and the playoff ramifications therefrom, as our county student athletes attempt to turn November into Yes-vember. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Inside.
Hey, your sisters and your brothers, your haters and your lovers, you gotta get up in the streets